I'm Jeff Paur, senior writer for RealTime Fantasy Sports, and welcome to another edition of the RealTime Fantasy Sports Show. On today's RealTime Fantasy Sports Show, I'm going to give you 5 fantasy takeaways from week 1 of the NFL season. I know there's still 2 games to be played tonight, but we have a good picture of what happened in week 1, and I want to give you 5 takeaways from the first week of action. First of all, it was great to see football back on TV. I know I had a lot of fun watching games and watching all my fantasy teams to see how they did throughout the day. It was a great day just to see football on once again. So that's one great takeaway, but I'm going to give you 5 other ones, and these all are going to have fantasy implications going forward. So my first takeaway: Nyheim Hines could have a huge season in Indianapolis. He had 8 receptions in the opener, 2 touchdowns. Marlon Mack is now hurt. They haven't officially announced it yet, but there is concern that it was a torn Achilles, so he would be done for the season if that happened. But even before Mack went down yesterday, Hines was getting a lot of work offensively. He even got the red zone touches for Indianapolis over Jonathan Taylor, rookie Jonathan Taylor. And we know Phillip Rivers loves throwing to the running back. In this game this past week, he threw 17 passes to running backs. He completed 17 passes to running backs. So I really think Hines could have a monster year catching the ball out of the backfield. And I don't think he's going to need to score touchdowns every week to help fantasy teams. I think he's going to get a lot of work in the passing game. And if you drafted him, kudos to you, because I think you're sitting on a possible gold mine for the coming year. All right, my second takeaway. I think the demise of Aaron Rodgers might have been a little premature. He looked fantastic yesterday, 4 touchdowns, hit the 300-yard mark. I think he has a chip on his shoulder. He's going to do everything he can to lift this team up and play at a high level. I know there's some concerns at receiver outside of Devontae Adams, but Allen Lazard looked good yesterday. I think that could be a big positive for Rodgers. So I think maybe his demise has been a little premature. Calling on his demise might happen this year for all those fantasy owners. So again, another player that maybe if you got him a little later in drafts, you might be feeling pretty good right about now. And I know I do think Minnesota's secondary isn't very good. So I think that did help Rodgers, but still, I thought he looked fantastic. I think he could be set up for a big year, maybe looking like the Aaron Rodgers of old. All right, my third fantasy takeaway: the Dolphins running back situation was a huge surprise to me. So Myles Gaskin, no, not Matt Breida, not Jordan Howard, but Myles Gaskin was the best Dolphins back yesterday. 66 total yards on 13 touches. He outplayed both Breida and Howard. I think he's going to have a big role in this offense. He looked really good when he was out there on the field. Howard did not do much at all with his chances. He did score in the red zone, which was a positive, but outside of that, did next to nothing. Breida didn't do much as well. Gaskin was the best back. It's kind of a messy situation right now, but if you had to pick one of the 3 after watching week 1, Myles Gaskin would be your guy. So if you're looking for somebody to add on the waiver wire, you might want to consider Gaskin this week. My fourth fantasy takeaway for week 1: I'm not buying the Tom Brady is done talk after a game. He had no preseason games. He's still gaining rapport with his offensive weapons, and he played a good Saints secondary on the road. Again, he didn't look great. He had a pick 6, threw a couple interceptions, looked a little shaky at times, but he has a ton of offensive talent around him. I still think he's going to get going as he gains a rapport with all of his weapons offensively. They have maybe the best collection of offensive talent to throw to with Godwin, Mike Evans, who wasn't healthy. That's another factor, and maybe Brady not doing so well yesterday. O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski, Miller as well, Scotty Miller out of the slot. So I don't think Tom Brady's done after a game. I think he'll get going this year. I'm not jumping off the ledge after just 1 week of Tom Brady struggling a little bit on the road against a very good Saints team. All right, my last fantasy takeaway: don't overreact to week 1. We see it every year. Somebody overreacts to week 1, makes a poor decision, drops somebody they shouldn't, makes a trade, picks up somebody spending all their fab money when the player probably wasn't worth picking up for all that money. So there's all sorts of things you can do poorly after week 1. So don't overreact. Michael Thomas is going to get better. He had a terrible week 1. We know Michael Thomas is one of the best receivers, if not the best receiver in all of football. He's not going to get 3 catches every week. He's going to do better than that. Joe Mixon's going to get better too in Cincinnati. Sammy Watkins on the flip side, he's going to come back down to earth. We know what he did last year, had one huge week, which really skewed his numbers overall for the year, and he did not do much outside of that week. So don't overreact to Watkins doing well. Same thing with Mitchell Trubisky. Do you think he's going to throw 3 touchdowns without a turnover every week? I don't think so. Again, don't overreact to week 1. All right, those are my 5 fantasy takeaways from week 1. We're going to be doing this every week on Monday, give you our 5 takeaways from the past week. And don't forget, tomorrow we're going to give you our 5 waiver wire ads for the week. So we have a whole schedule of videos every week. We're going to post every day, I should say. We're going to post new ones about every day during the week. We're going to have a different topic. So we have 5 fantasy takeaways today. Tomorrow's waiver wire ads. Wednesday is hot plays. Thursday is cold plays. And then Sunday morning, we always do last minute update news and notes for players who are active and inactive. So you want to check that out before setting your lineups. And on Friday as well, I skipped over Friday, but we're going to pick maybe a different random topic every Friday to look at during the year. All right. I hope you enjoyed my 5 fantasy takeaways from week 1, and have a great day. Hopefully you came out on top in week 1. And if not, you need those players to come through in these Monday night games. Hopefully that happens as well. This has been Jeff Paur for RealTime Fantasy Sports. Have a great day, everyone.